Okay guys, today we are going to learn about this learning target. I can find the surface area of a rectangular prism. Surface area is the blank of all the areas on the faces of a 3D shape. So basically what surface area is it's the sum of all of the areas that you see on a 3D shape. So you're going to add up the area of each face of the shape. Rectangular prisms have blank rectangular faces. How many sides are in a rectangular prism? 6. Some of the faces have the same area as shown below. So as you can see from this little diagram, the top of any rectangular prism is going to have the same area as the bottom. And the front of the rectangular prism is going to have the same area as the back. And the side of the rectangular prism is going to have the same area as the other side. So basically, since you need to find all the areas and add them together, we're going to find the area of the top and multiply it by 2 to account for the top and bottom. We're going to find the area of the front and then multiply it by 2 to account for the front and the back. We're going to find the area of the side and then multiply it by 2 to account for both sides. And then we're going to add all those together. So here's a rectangular prism, and we're going to find the surface area of the rectangular prism. So first, let's start by finding the area of the top or the bottom. So here's the top. It's blue. And if you look, it's this length by this length for the rectangle. And that's 6 and 4. So to find the area of this rectangular shape, we're going to do 6 times 4. All right, and what is 6 times 4? 24. And we're going to label this as inches squared. All right, now let's do the area of the front or the back. So here's the front. It's a rectangle. The dimensions are 6 by 3. So we're going to do 6 times 3. 6 times 3 gives us 18. And since it's area, again, it's going to be square area, inches squared. Now the area of either side. Here's one of the sides. It's a rectangle. The dimensions are 4 by 3. So we're going to do 4 times 3. And we get 12 inches squared. All right, so now that we know that the area of the top is 24, I need to multiply that by 2 to account for the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do 24 times 2 plus, okay, if I know the front is 18, the back also must be 18. So I'm going to do 18 times 2 plus, okay, if I know the side area is 12, then the other side area must be 12. So 12 times 2. Okay, now we're going to multiply those and add them together. So 24 times 2 is 48. 18 times 2 is 36. 24 times 2 is 24. Okay, go ahead, add those together. You can pause the video and see what the surface area is. Okay, you should have gotten 108 inches squared. Area, square area. So when we find the surface area, we're going to say inches squared. All right, that brings us to our surface area formula. This is the formula to find a surface area of a rectangular prism. So the surface area is 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the width times the height. When you do 2 times the length times the width, here's the length, here's the width, you're finding the areas of the top and the bottom. When you do 2 times the length times the height, here's the length, here's the height, it's this shape, you're finding the areas of the front and the back. And when you're doing 2 times the width times the height, here's the width, here's the width, here's the height, you're finding the area of both the sides. That'll account for the area of all the sides of the shape, and then you just add them together. All right, so let's do an example problem. It says find the surface area of the rectangular prism. Here's the formula, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write this down. But in the formula, you can tell that there's a length, there's a width, and there's a height, right? So I'm going to say, let's let the length be 15. Let's let the width be 2. Let's let the height be 5. Now, you could have had a different length, width, and height than me, but for this problem, let's keep it all the same. Length is 15, width is 2, height is 5. It's going to help us when we're plugging into our formula together. So the formula, we're going to take a second and write it down. S equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. All right, now we're going to start to plug it in. The surface area equals 2 times L. Okay, let's look at what we said. L is 15 times W. Let's look at what we said. W is 2 plus sign. 2 times L. Let's look at what we said. L is, it's 15. H, let's look at what we said. H is, it's 5 plus sign. 2 times W, what did we say W is? 2. Okay, plug in 2. And H is 5, so we're going to plug in 5. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply this cluster. We're going to multiply this cluster, and we're going to multiply this cluster and write down the products below. So when we do 2 times 15 times 2, go ahead and use your calculator. 2 times 15 times 2, you should get 60. Plus 2 times 15 times 5, use your calculator. 2 times 15 times 5, you should get 150. Plus 2 times 2 times 5. 2 times 2 is 4 times 5. That's 20. Okay, the last step we're going to do is we're going to add them all together. So go ahead, pause the video, add them all together, and see if you can figure out the correct units. Okay, you should have said 230 meters squared, because if it's area, it's squared. Area, square area. All right, let's do another example. So first, let's say that the length is 10. Let's say that the width is 5. And let's say that the height is 5. We have to write down our formula. I have it typed out right here. So just very carefully, please copy it down. And feel free to pause the video if people need more time to copy it down. All right, now we're going to do S equals. Okay, it starts with 2, so we're going to write down 2. Then we have L. L is 10, so we're going to write down 10. Then we have W. W is 5, so we're going to write down 5. Plus sign. 2 times L again. L is 10. Times H. H is 5. Plus sign. 2 times W. W is 5. Times H. H is 5. All right, remember the next step is to multiply your 3 clusters of numbers to find their products, and then we're going to add them together. So using your calculator, 2 times 10 times 5, 2 times 10 times 5, you should get 100, plus 2 times 10 times 5, which is also 100, those are the same, plus 2 times 5 times 5. Well, 2 times 5 is 10, times 5 is 50. Okay, and if you add those together, you get 250 centimeters squared. All right, next one. Jacob is making a storage box out of plywood using the dimensions shown. Find the cost of materials if plywood costs $1.50 per square foot. So let's say that the length is 5, the width is 4, and the height is 3. I'm going to have you guys pause the video, and I want you to just find the surface area. Then unpause it, and we'll talk about how to find the cost together. Okay, I'm going to go over how to find the surface area, but I'm going to do it quickly because I was hoping you guys would pause the video and try it on your own. So these are my steps to solving for surface area. I got 94 square feet. So if it's 94 square feet and it's $1.50 per square foot, you need to take $1.50 and multiply it by the 94 square feet that you need. Okay, go ahead and find out what that is. $1.50 times 94. You should get $141. So it would cost $141 to make that storage box. Kobe is making a stadium cushion. The foam costs $1.50 and the fabric costs 50 cents per square foot. How much does it cost to make the cushion? So let's see. I'm going to say the length is 1.5. I'm going to say the width is 1.5. And I'm going to say the height is 0.5. Here's the formula. I'd like you guys to pause the video and try to find the surface area. Then we'll unpause it to talk about the cost of the cushion together. Okay, I'm going to go over how to find the surface area. This is my work, but I'm going to show it quickly because I was hoping you guys would try this on your own. And you get 7.5 square feet. Okay, so the cost of the fabric. The fabric costs 50 cents per square foot, and I need 7.5 square feet. So I'm going to take 50 cents and multiply it by 7.5. Go ahead and do that and find the cost of the fabric. 50 cents times 7.5 is $3.75. The foam is just $1.50. It's like a foam insert. You buy them and they're like a rectangular shaped foam. So the total cost, you'd have to add them together. Here's the cost of the fabric that we found, and here's the cost of the foam. Go ahead and find out how much that is all together. All right, you should have found that it's $5.25 total. All right. Find the height of a rectangular dumpster that is 6 feet wide, 5 feet long, and has a surface area of 148 square feet. So in this problem, they're telling us that the width is 6, the length is 5, and the surface area is 148 square feet. So I'm going to know that the length is 5, the width is 6, and I know that the surface area is 148, but I was not given the height. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to write down our formula very carefully. Surface area equals 2 length width plus 2 length height plus 2 width height. Okay, now starting with S, were we given the surface area? Yes, we were. It says has a surface area of 148 square feet. So 148 is going to go in for S. Then I just follow the formula very carefully. Equal sign. 2 L. Do I know L? Yes, it's 5. W. Do I know W? Yes, it's 6. Plus 2. Do I know L? Yes, it's 5. Do I know H? No, so I'm going to leave it as H. Plus 2. Do I know W? Yes, it's 6. Do I know H? No, I'm going to leave it as H. All right, so now we have 148 equals 2 times 5 times 6. So let's see, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 6 is 60. Plus 2 times 5 times H. 2 times 5 is 10, so that's 10H. Plus 2 times 6 times H. 2 times 6 is 12, so that's 12H. This is an equation that we can solve, but it needs to be cleaned up first. We need to do 10H plus 12H. That is 22H. So I'm going to write this as 148 equals 60 plus 22H. Okay, to solve this equation, the first thing we have to do is subtract 60 from both sides. 148 minus 60 is 88. So I have 22H is equal to 88. The next thing we have to do is divide by 22 on both sides. H equals 4. And it's not 4 square feet because the surface area is the only thing that's square feet. If they're asking about the height is just feet. Just like the width was just feet and the length was just feet. The height is just 4 feet. All right. A Chips Ahoy cereal box has a surface area of 262 square inches. If the height is 12 inches and the length is 8 inches, find the width. So here they told me that the surface area is 262 square inches. They said the height is 12, and they said the length is 8. So filling in what we know, I know the length is 8. I do not know the width, but I know the height is 12, and the surface area is 262. So carefully write down your formula. Surface area equals 2 length width plus 2 length height plus 2 width height. All right, now we're going to plug in what we know. We know what the surface area is. It's right here. The surface area is 262 square inches. So for S, we're going to write 262 equals 2 length width. That's 2. Do we know what L is? Yes, it's 8. Width. Do I know what the width is? No, so I'm going to write down W. Plus 2 length height. 2, do I know what the length is? Yes, it's 8. Do I know what the height is? Yes, it's 12. Plus 2 width height. 2, do I know what the width is? No, leave it as W. Do I know what the height is? Yes, it's 12. All right, so now we're going to clean this up. 262 equals 2 times 8 times W. Well, 2 times 8 is 16, so 16W plus 2 times 8 times 12. Okay, go ahead, pick up your calculators and do 2 times 8 times 12. 2 times 8 times 12. You should get 192 plus 2 times W times 12. Well, 2 times 12 is 24, so we're going to write 24W. Okay, this is an equation we can solve, but we need to clean it up first. And we're going to clean it up by combining 16W and 24W because those are like terms. So I'm going to rewrite this as 262 equals, okay, what's 16 plus 24? 40, so that's 40W plus 192. All right, we're ready to solve. So the first thing we're going to do from both sides is take away 192. We're left with 40W equals 70. Then, since W is being multiplied by 40, we're going to divide both sides by 40. W equals 1.75. And we're just going to say inches because it's only square inches when we're talking about surface area. In this case, we're just talking about the width. And the width would just be inches, just like the length is just inches and the height is just inches. Okay, I'm going to have you guys pause the video here. Everyone, please try the target practice. And then you can unpause it to see my solution. Okay, here's my solution. I had 220 meters squared. 220 meters squared. Alrighty, all set with notes. If you need to rewatch this, I'm going to post it on Google Classroom.